Hello lovelies, welcome to my channel. My name is Esther. If you're seeing this channel for the first time, please do well to subscribe and click on the notification bell to be notified each time I drop video. So in this video, I'll be showing you how to draft a basic princess dart, all right, or you can also call it a classic princess dart. It's different from princess dart bustier. Okay, so this one is a basic princess dart. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is to rule out your starting line and divide your shoulder by 2 and mark from your shoulder to your chest line, shoulder to bust, shoulder to under bust, and shoulder to waistline, and the length of the blouse. This is actually a blouse. All right, so after marking this line, then you rule it, okay, mark it straight, okay, use your straight ruler, or you can use your free hand. So your shoulder you divided by 2, also mark the same measurement on your chest line and connect it with your straight ruler. That will serve as your armhole line. All right, so the neckline I'm working with is 3.5 by 3.5. All right, 3.5 by width and 3.5 by front depth. So after the neckline, I'll come down from the shoulder for our shoulder slope, mark 1 inch, and also divide whatever I have there. What I have there is 9 inch. I divided by 2, which is 4.5. So the 1 inch I come down for the shoulder slant, I connected it to my chest line. So the next thing we are going to do right now is to divide our bust point. The bust point I'm working with here is 8 inch. Divided by 2 is 4 inch, plus half inch for sewing allowance. That is 4.5. So I mark that bust measurement, bust point, that is nipple to nipple, straight to read, and connected it with my straight ruler like you see me doing. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is to connect that bust or that line that I mark on the bust point to that armhole that I divided into 2 to form a good princess dart. All right, please, you can use your curve ruler, you can use your free hand if you know your way around your free hand. Okay, so now we are imputing our dart intake. So the dart I'm working with here is half inch by half inch. On the waistline, you mark half inch on the both side. All right, when you mark a half inch on the both side, then you connect it down to the hem, which is the length of the blouse, like an arrow. This will be like a normal dart, normal skirt dart, or just normal skirt dart, just like an arrow. Oh, okay, so you also connect that half inch to meet with the bust measurement, okay, like you see me doing. So like I said, this is not a princess dart busted, this is a normal princess dart. So the next thing we're going to do is to take the armhole dart. So what I'll be doing is to take half inch also from on the both side for that line, half inch on the both side, and connect it to also meet with the bust. All right, like you see me doing. You also connect the other one to meet with the bust as well. So that is the armhole dart. All right, that is the armhole dart to tighten the bust area. Okay, so that is the essence of that armhole dart. So the next thing we are going to do is to replace the dart we take on the armhole. If you notice, what I mark is half inch on the both side from that line that I connected. I mark divided into 2. So I'm going to replace that dart. So what I have there is 1 inch. So I will go out by 1 inch to replace it. All right, if you don't replace it, it will short while sewing it. So the next thing we are going to do is to divide our bust measurement by 4, add your sewing allowance. Okay, so make sure you measure what you have on the dart and replace it as well. All right, so the next thing we are going to also do is to divide the waist measurement, your waist measurement, by 4 and mark it and add your sewing allowance. Okay, divide your waist measurement by 4. Okay, so let me divide that and show you guys. So you divide it by 4 and mark and measure the dart that you have there. What I have there is 1 inch. I replace it and I also add sewing allowance to it. After marking it, then you connect the waist measurement to meet with the bust. So the next thing we are going to do is to impute our hip measurement on the hemline. Like I said, this is a blouse. All right, so I divided the hip measurement by 4 and mark and add sewing allowance. So I also connected the line to meet with the waist, okay, like you see me doing. So on the hemline, okay, so on the hemline, so I'll be going up by 2 inch. You can also go up by 1.5 inch, depends on what you want, and connect it. to the middle of it. Why you should do that is because if you don't do that, after sewing your blouse, it will not give it a fine shape, right? It will be pointy. That side will be pointy. Okay, so this is basically the princess dart, your basic princess dart. Okay, it is very, very simple, very, 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 very simple, guys, to cut. And the cutting of the back is the normal basic back. Okay, so I think that's the back drafting will not be on this video right now, so we'll be dropping that one later. Okay, so this is basically the drafting of princess, normal princess that, or basic princess that, or can call it classic princess that. Okay, so this one is different from the princess that bustier that you know. Okay, so if you like, for instance, if you want to sew like a corporate, you can also use this princess that for it. It suits it very, very well. Okay guys, thank you guys for watching. See you guys in my next video. So here is the cutting of it. So we are done cutting this. Can you see how is looking? If you want, like I said, if you want to sew something like corporate gown or anything, this princess that suits it very well, can use this method and it will come out perfectly well. All right, so here are the darts I removed. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.